especially where the game's at now, to be a part of a team that's doing whatever they can to go out and win a World Series, to win a World Championship is extremely motivating as a player. As a player, you really feel that there's no excuses but to be ready for this opportunity. I think we all know what's at stake here. We all know what's on the table for us, what opportunities we have as a group if we can, play to our level. And, that's the goal. The goal is to get here, mesh with these guys, and just learn our style, learn our level of baseball, and try and maintain and be consistent at that all year.
This seems like a familiar story to you. Back in 2011, you were one of the first guys brought up spearheading that revolution that took place in Kansas City. Other guys followed you. You guys really struggled for a couple of years, and then you broke the 500 barrier, and a couple years later, you're winning a World Series. How familiar is that to what you're experiencing now, being brought over the Padres and the progress that's being made?
There's a lot of similarities in it. In Kansas City, we lost the World Series, came back the next year, made it to the World Series. Here with San Diego, we lost to the World Series champions, and there's no secret that's the team we got to beat to get to where we want to be. So, like we said, the fun thing now is, after the last loss in Texas last year against the Dodgers, we all kind of looked around, and the beauty of it now is I don't have to explain to everybody what it feels like. Everybody felt that pain. Everybody knew what it was like to be on that stage, to play in postseason baseball. And at the same time, we realized how close we were to our goal at the end of the year was to win a World Championship. So the beauty of it now is, I don't got to talk about it. Everybody knows what that feeling's like. Everybody's done what they need to do in the offseason to be in shape, to be ready to go once spring training comes. And, now we just got to go out, take care of business, and, just take care of step one, which is getting through the regular season and getting back to the playoffs.
I've heard you say before in those winning days in Kansas City, you guys just came to the ballpark and you knew you were going to whoop some ass. I mean, is there a similar type sense here in this clubhouse now?
Yeah, there definitely is. Just kind of like what we just talked about, just, the older guys, myself, Manny, all these guys, we don't have to explain to the whole team what it's like anymore. We all know what it's like. We've all been there. We've all, got our hearts broken last year, and everyone you can tell is ready to go. Everybody's eager for this to start. There's very few times a player can honestly say they feel like they have a team that can win a world championship, and I think it's pretty obvious this team is capable of doing that. Now we just got to reach our potential.
Has there been any discussion at all, maybe with some of the young guys, of just managing expectations, just in terms of, hey, there's a lot that the rest of the world is expecting of you guys, and that's something new for this clubhouse. Has there been any talk about that?
Yeah, certainly. We know we're not going to sneak up on teams anymore. We know we're going to get everybody's best game, and that's the way it should be. I think we were kind of new to the baseball world last year. I think a lot of people got introduced to, the Padres and what's really going on out here in San Diego. So I think the secret's out. I think everybody knows the type of team we have. I think, everybody knows we're an exciting team that can potentially make some noise. And, that's just the main thing. We have to be on top of our game at all times because teams are going to be coming at us, and we can't sneak up on anybody anymore.
For you personally, last year, you were really pushed by this coaching staff, and you really pushed yourself, both physically and also to get out of maybe some of your comfort zones previously. How satisfied, looking back on that, are you with the effort that you put in and what you got out of it?
It's up and down for me, honestly. My first goal every year is to stay healthy and be on the field. I think from a production standpoint, I think I definitely up that a little bit, and but at the end of the day, I wanted to be out there every day with my team. I wanted to be, consistent on, staying healthy and all that stuff. So I definitely want to do a better job of that. And at the end of the year, your goal is to win a world championship. So if you fall short of that, you definitely go home in the off season and think of certain adjustments that you need to make to be able to do your part in winning a world championship. So. I just went home ready to get myself in shape again. Definitely not going to bunt again this year, and we'll see if we can stay on the field and stay productive for the team.
Yeah, speaking of the hitting, some big changes for you last year, and I know the media made a big deal out of the fewest ground balls ratio in the history of your career, most line drives, that whole topic. Was that important to you as well, or was that something that maybe the outsiders made a bigger deal about?
I mean, it's certainly a big deal, but I would say for me, it's not as important because, I just want to be productive. Misses are misses, and there's certainly, certain things that jump out that you recognize adjustments need to be made. And, for me personally, I'm more of a field type guy. So if I'm in the cage working on stuff and doing the adjustments and feeling my way through that, then, I'm confident that the result will get better that I want to clean up or, whatever result that is that I want to clean up will get better. So, I understand I made some pretty good adjustments when it comes to that stuff, and there's also a lot of adjustments that I can still be a lot better on. So, just trying to tighten my game up every way possible.
How much of that was from mechanical tweaks that you talked about making in terms of staying on your back leg a little bit more, and how much was maybe just the approach of attacking fastballs a little bit more and not going after some of the other pitches that traditionally haven't been strong suits for you?
Yeah, the approach is big with that. For me personally, I like to keep things simple. I've gone down both roads of trying to really dissect stuff and trying to keep stuff simple. And I've learned for me, it's the simpler, the better for me. And I certainly want to be more selective at the plate. I want to drive the ball more. So I got to really shrink my zone and be selective on where I want the ball to be able to drive the ball. And whether that's letting a couple strikes go by. If those are pitches that I used to swing at before and waiting for my pitch to be able to drive a ball, then, I think that's something that I can continue to grow on and continue to put into my approach.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, we'll go to Annie Heilbrunn.
Hey, Eric, we've heard a few guys say, especially the new guys, that what stands out to them is like the atmosphere at camp. It's like a winning atmosphere. They feel a lot of swagger. How different does it feel for you? You've been here a few seasons now, coming in this camp and kind of feeling the vibe around camp as maybe compared to past years?
Yeah, it's a great vibe. It's guys are on a mission. Guys are on a mission individually to do their part to be a champion at the end of the year. So it's obviously a team game, but we understand that everybody was brought here. Everyone has roles on this team that will make us succeed, and it's really fun. It's really motivating to see everybody constantly. It's only been a couple days, but getting their work done in the weight room, getting their work done on the field, and the level of intensity and the that level is something that stands out to me because, like we've been saying, you can tell there's something different with this group. We understand what's on the line, and you can tell that guys understand it really because of their work and how intense it is on the field and inside here in the training and weight room as well.
And last one for you, did you change anything in the off season? Any training or nutrition or just anything different?
No, I mean I stayed inside a lot. Obviously. Try to stay safe, try to see family as much as possible, and just excited to get back out here, excited to get back outside, moving again, and feels good to be back with the team. And we like our group, and it's a fun group. It's a great clubhouse to be in.
Thanks. Good to see you, Eric.
All right, good to see you.
Marty Caswell, 1360.
Hi, Eric. At the press conference a couple of days ago, A.J. Preller said that his special assistant, Eric Hosmer, and Ian Kinsler told him day one a couple of years ago that Tatis needs to be with the Padres. Did you envision at that moment to start the season that he would end up having the sort of statute contract that he has right now?
Well, I told A.J. 2 years before that Tatis should have been in the big league, so I'm glad he finally listened a couple of years later. But it's obvious. Fernando is the player he is, but I think one of the things that we all noticed was his makeup off the field, his intensity in his work, and how much of a student of the game he was. And there's plenty of players that you see that have the talent that that they can have the talent and makeup of a big league player, but you just don't see the mental side that advanced at that age. And I think that was the biggest thing that we recognized, and we just wanted to let AJ know was, I know you've seen talent and maybe not talent like his, but you've seen guys close to that, but the mental part is right up there with the talent. So there's no reason this kid shouldn't be in the big leagues. And, that goes back to what we said originally. It's fun to play for a GM and an owner that want to win and do whatever they can to win. And I think that's a big reason right there, and proving that, the front office is going to do whatever we can to win.
And so much of the Padres' identity the last season was about Slam Diego and the firepower of the offense. What does it mean for you to have potentially 3 number 1 aces in this rotation with the addition of Yu Darvish and Blake Snell, to what you already have?
It means a lot. These guys are proven guys. These guys are guys that have been frontline starters in this league for a couple years now. So definitely love those guys on our side. But as an offense, we have to keep that same mentality and, basically understand that we got to go produce runs no matter what we can. And, we got some guys that are capable of winning Cy Youngs on the mound for us. But, I feel like as an offense, we can't really fall into that trap, and we have to stay aggressive with us. And, we talked about last year as an offense, understanding we've been finishing in the bottom part of pretty much every offensive number the past couple years, and we just wanted to get to the top half of that. And, I think we were a top 5 offense pretty much for most of the year last year. So it's a tremendous jump for our offense, but, we want to keep improving, and we feel that we can be a top 3, top 2 offense in the league. So we want to keep making improvements.
Leslie, was there any wow moment for you of this offseason? I know with AJ Preller, you've kind of got used to it, just nonstop movement, but was there anything that just kind of jumped out at you after it happened?
Definitely getting Blake and you at the same time was a wow factor. I couldn't remember who got announced first, but it's like, man, we just got this guy, and then all of a sudden you add another Cy Young type of guy right behind it, and I forget what day that was, but that was a pretty good night to be a Padre.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Julian, Fox 5.
Hey, good to see you, and hope you've been well. It's been more than, I guess, since 2019 that you've played in front of fans. This coming Sunday, it'll be at 16% capacity. I'm just curious, how excited you are to be able to kind of showcase, especially after the birth of, Slam Diego to right now, and how much hype has been built in through it.
Yeah, we're certainly excited. The fans make this game. The fans, it's 162 games throughout the course of the year, and there's times where you certainly feel sluggish, and you walk outside and you see all the people in the stands, you feel the energy, and it immediately uplifts you, and you just feel that intensity and you feel that energy burst, and it kind of gets you back on track. So it'll be nice to get to play in front of a crowd again, and so much excitement in San Diego last year on how the team was playing and what we were doing on the field. So we know the fans are excited to get out there and watch us, and we're just as excited to get out there and play in front of these fans. That was something that was talked about a lot last year, was how electric Petco Park would be when, or if there was fans last year during the course of the Slam Diego run, the winning streaks, and the playoff bursts and all that stuff. So I think if there's any team that's excited to see some fans, it's definitely us.
And I wanted to talk about Jace. He's kind of like a player's coach. He's playing first base today. He's hitting balls into the outfield. He's loud. He's vocal. How nice is it to have somebody like that to bounce off of and be your leader in a sense?
He's great. Just like you said, a leader. You want a leader to be energetic. You want him to be vocal. He's all those things. He's great at trusting his staff. He's great at trusting his players. He brings great energy every day. The message that he sends to us is the right time. It's over the course of the year, you feel like if you have to sit down and have a meeting as a team, you feel like your team's not really in a great spot. But, last year, every time he talked to the group, it just seemed like it was the perfect time. It was the perfect message. And we always left those meetings pretty motivated. So he's been great. It's going to be fun to see him grow as a manager because he had such a great start last year as his first year. So, he's been nothing but great up until this point.
And you kind of see that camaraderie building in a sense from where he was at last year to this year, especially with all these new pieces. Do you think that helps just chemistry overall early on, even though it's, a couple of days in for you guys?
Yeah, I know, there's definitely more comfort that he's feeling coming to a new organization. I know personally coming to a new organization, it takes some time to get used to the new faces, get used to the new system and all that type of stuff. So coming to a new organization as a manager, it's especially as a first-year manager, I know that can be a lot on your plate, but you wouldn't know that by the way he carries himself, by the way he handles himself, and I think he just really got comfortable from a really early time and really just hasn't looked back.
Thanks, dude. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
Bryce Miller, UT.
Hey, Eric, welcome back. What in particular does Yu Darvish particularly bring to this starting rotation? And have you been around him, interacted with him, saw him work in these recent days yet?
I've got to see one of his bullpens on the fly, but just from facing him in the past, I personally think Yu has some of the best stuff in the game. The way he can spin a baseball is, to me, second to none. I think, he's got so much great control with his spin as well that, I think just by guys, especially the pitchers, being around him, seeing him work, seeing how intense he is at his work, I think that can do nothing but benefit for the guys. And, like I said, I think coming off a year like he had last year, I know he's, been to the World Series and, fell short. So I know he's just as motivated as all of us to get back there and, get over that hump.
Collectively last season, the plate discipline was so much more solid and sound up and down the lineup in a really noticeable way compared to the year before. Who was the real influence on that, or drills, or what really built that collectively for you guys?
I think everybody in the offense, from Ease to, the 25, 28 man roster, whatever it is nowadays. I think we all made it a point to hold each other accountable, to understand that if we can get our play discipline better, it's going to make us a better offense collectively. And, we had a goal and we had a mindset each day, and whatever that approach was, we were going to stick to it. And if we saw somebody getting away from that approach or getting away from that a little bit, then, we wanted to hold each other accountable as a team, as an offense. And I think we all did a really good job of that. And, like we were saying before, we knew we had finished in the bottom half of the offensive numbers in years past. And we wanted to be realistic with our expectations. And we weren't saying we wanted to be the best offense in the league, but we wanted to get up to the, top part of that list. And I think now when you look at the strides we made last year, coming into this year, if we continue that same approach, that there's no reason why our offense, shouldn't set goals on being the best offense in the league.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for a few more. We'll go to Darnay with NBC7.
Hey, Eric, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. You talked a lot about just kind of new players meshing with your team, and you guys have had a bunch of new players, since the trade deadline and now during the offseason. Is it common for players to be able to fit in as well as they seemingly have? Tingler said part of it is the types of guys that they're bringing in. But just curious your perspective on what lends itself to kind of that sort of seamless transition, whether it's a Ha-Seong Kim or whether it's, a Blake Snell or other kind of proven guys, just being able to kind of fit in right away and feel comfortable with you guys.
Yeah, I think we understand that's going to be a crucial part in our success. When one of the things when we got the guys last year during the trade deadline was we wanted to make them feel as comfortable as possible right away, so they can get in and understand our system, understand how we do stuff, and just continue to move forward on that. And to me, I think what helps with that so much is the leadership that we got in the clubhouse. When you're coming over to a new place and the first guy that jumps at you at your locker is a guy like Manny saying what's up and making you feel comfortable. I think that really just sets the tone from that point on. And seeing how he interacts with everybody, seeing how everybody interacts with everybody around here, you can just see the atmosphere. You can see everybody wants to get better. Everybody wants to have a good time, but at the same time take their work serious out there and make strides every day. So it's just a common goal between all these guys that want to get better individually to help their team win a championship.
And you've been around Will for a few years now. Obviously had a big season last year. What did you notice differently about him that maybe lent itself to the type of success he had?
Yeah, I don't know. Will had a great year, but honestly, to me, Will didn't change much. Same guy, confident around the clubhouse, great teammate. Obviously his production last year was elite. It was it's something I talked to Kev about earlier. I think he got a couple top 10 MVP votes, but I think the year that he had last year, it went unnoticed because obviously we got Manny and Toddy doing their thing and having great years, but Will had a great year last year that not enough people talk about, and especially kind of where he was at the beginning of spring to where he was at the end of the year. It was just tremendous to see that for him, and Will came to play every day last year.
Thank you, Eric.
All right, Kevin Acey.
Eric, how much are you looking forward to Bobby Dickerson as third base coach? What do you think that's going to be like?
Oh, man, ever since he got this Coach of the Year, I think it's went straight to his head. I don't know if he's going to be able to bounce back from this. Bobby's great, man. Bobby brings so much energy out there, especially early in the morning here in spring training. And, you're going through some defensive fundamentals, which, he makes it exciting. It can be, a lot of guys want to get to BP or want to get to hitting, but he makes defense exciting. He makes the atmosphere. He makes the vibe out there fun to be out there. And I've never really seen a coach on the defensive side make such an impact, whether it's outfield, infield, whatever it is. And he's been doing a great job of that. And it's fun to see him back to normal. And his energy it spreads throughout the fields. That's for sure.
All right, 2 more for Haas here. We'll go to AJ Cassavell, MLB.com.
Eric, you faced Joe Musgrove a decent amount in the past. You faced him again today in live. What makes his breaking pitches so good, and what did you see from him today?
Yeah, his breaking ball, he can really control where he wants it. I feel like he throws a couple different types of it too, which is obviously hard as a hitter because once you see a guy's breaking ball once or twice, you have a good idea of how much it breaks and where you want it to start and all that type of stuff. And it seemed like he threw me about 3 or 4 different ones today that started in different places, moved different ways. And the biggest thing with Joe that I love is his mentality. When he's on that mound, it doesn't matter if it's a live batting practice or it's a playoff game. It just seems like he treats it the same way. And, I think that's the biggest thing that excites me is seeing that mentality. And, when you see a guy like that on the mound, you want to make all the plays for him defensively. And that's the type of teammate you want.
All right, we'll wrap up with Adam Klug.
Hey Eric, just wanted to ask your what kind of reaction among the players and what kind of impact Fernando Tatis' contract extension had.
Everybody's extremely happy for him. We all know he deserves it. We all know, what he is to this game, what he means to this game, and at the same time, I think there's a level of appreciation for the players, for the front office, because they recognize what he is, what type of talent he is, and when your team wins, that's what happens. Guys individually get taken care of, they get paid because they deserve it. And Fernando had such a great year last year. He's been such a big part of this organization for a long time now that I think everybody was just extremely happy for him and understand he deserves that.
And then, at least as of right now, there's no DH in the National League. Cronenworth has emerged. Profar was brought back. Tommy Pham is healthy. You brought in Ha-Sung Kim. Have there been conversations either with the coaching staff or just amongst the players about maybe having to sacrifice individually for the betterment of the group in terms of playing time to be able to fit in so many players?
I think there will be. I think there's like we keep talking about, the common goal is to win a world championship. So I think we all want to be, heading into October feeling good, but at the same time, take care of business during the season. But just seeing how AJ constructed the roster, you can definitely tell that there's a lot of guys that can play a lot of positions. It's extremely versatile. Guys that can play the premium positions as well, shortstop, center field, and there's plenty of depth. So, if guys are banged up or guys are grinding through some things, whether it's injuries or whatever it is, that we have the depth to fill in for those spots. So, we understand we got to take care of business and we got to get back to the playoffs, but we understand at the same time our common goal is to win a world championship, and we want to be as smart as possible getting there and then eventually doing that.